I can't, I'm like looking at the screen and I can't see, I don't, for some reason, I don't see you guys when you jump on. So I apologize for being slow to say good evening. And it's so fun to see you guys. I hope you're not as cooked as I am. All right. So Meg's homework, and I honestly, I love it that you put it into words because I really think a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's me. That's me too. I felt like that. So the first question was, where do you let past experience positively influence your writing? And Meg said, if I'm writing in a situation that makes me nervous, I try to think of other times I've successfully written in the same situation or conditions. And I love that. And we've talked in the past about even trying to have a list to go to because it's so easy for us to have a list of the negative things that have happened or the things that didn't go exactly how we wanted, but to have a couple of things where I'm like, wait a minute, I've been here, I've done this before, I can do this. So I try to think of other times I've successfully ridden in the same situation or conditions. I know I can do it. For example, there's a warm up at a horse show that has a noisy highway right beside it. You can't see it, but you can really hear it, especially the semi trucks. As soon as I started to worry about that, I stopped and said, my horse lives near a highway and we ride all the time there. So he's used to these noises. I didn't have to worry then, but I would have worried if I didn't think of that. And that is such a really good point. And sometimes we get so focused on what's going wrong that we can't even pull those things out. So to have them available, think a little bit ahead, prepare a little bit ahead so that that's what's running in the background. It's so good. The other thing that I was thinking when I was reading this is how other people can get us wound up. So you can be at that show and other people's horses might be spooking and other horses might be like reactive on the semi trucks or the people might be nervous and then that gets us going that way and we even forget that we ride in that situation all the time. So that's, we can get wrapped up in the energy of the show or if it's a clinic and something's going on. So we really need to, to make it our own experience. And that was the perfect thing to bring up. I love it. And where do you allow yourself to let past experience negatively affect your actions? Sometimes a bad experience will loom up subconsciously, totally, and affect my riding. There's a fall I had as a little kid when my dad's horse bolted with me. Decades later, on different horses, I still feel like I'm going to get run off with, especially if I don't know the horse very well. And there's like that feeling that is similar that all of a sudden your body responds to that your brain isn't even able to think about it first. It's just your body says, wait a minute, I've felt that before and this happened and we have to be careful right now. And that is I think something that we need to work on within our breathing and within our body and really let ourselves know. I think that reaction can be that's the skiing for the positive thing. Rochelle is so good. Like we talked about last week, how when you get a little tense, your knees aren't working, your hips aren't working, and then everything goes awry. it's exactly the same as skiing, where you've got to have that balance down in your center. And if you are letting, I mean, I had it so clearly with the two mares that I rode in the Grand Prix. Alexis would have this certain feeling she would get before she started, not listening to me. And I did get under control with it. As she got older, I did find a different way. I did find rapport with her, and but she gave me such a feeling and my body. So then when I got Blondie in the beginning, if Blondie would make me feel that same way, like give me that same feeling, I couldn't feel my legs. It's like my body was not mine. And so that was something that Crystal and I used to joke around about. It's like, okay, I can feel my legs. I'm in good shape. I know this is going to be a good ride, but it took a while of really working, and not only on the horse, but with positive visualizations and breathing, visualizing my test and breathing through those moments and talking to my body and saying, like, look, you're okay. This is not the same horse. It's okay. Um, yes. Well, and there's something about laughing that it just changes your whole physiology, right, Lisa? Like it makes you breathe. You can't be tense and laughing at the same time. Now, the beginning of the laughs might feel a little bit almost forced, but yeah, you're totally right. The horse feels it. There becomes this playfulness of you aren't so serious about making a mistake. And that I think the breath, when you laugh, you have to breathe back in again, then the breath comes out again, and that just changes your whole everything. I love that. I love that. Laughing is someone taught me to do it. Harry Potter banishing a Bogart style. I love that. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. To change, you got to change. You have to talk your body into. And I have to say that breath work, visualization, really acknowledging what's going on. In my in the course I just did, and I can actually make that available to you guys too. Um, they I offer something for the psoas too, and that's really a good thing, because of course that psoas is like the flight or fright muscle in our body and has a lot to do with our breathing too. So that might be something interesting for you guys to watch. And so then the next question is, are there some beliefs or viewpoints that you adopted early on in life that could be released? And so I need to remember that riding is for fun. Oh my gosh, so true. Sometimes I get caught up in the idea that I have to show, and every ride is a training ride, and you need to push ahead at all times. Almost to the point that I've wondered why other riders in the barn don't want to show, which is hysterical. And I'm learning or relearning that my goal can be to have fun without some external award. And I think that this is competition is not taught correctly to us. And what you are saying here is so profound because for me, and of course, we all go through phases. Um, there was a time where competition just meant so much because my business depended on it. And it did get more stress than I really liked. But honestly, to my core, I love competing. I just love the whole thing about it. I love preparing. I love strategizing about it. I love that feeling of taking my horse to the horse show, caring for it, making sure it sees everything. I really enjoy taking what I worked on at home and seeing if it works out in a different environment. All those things really made me tick. Right? They really got me excited. And so, although there were times when I got a little bit wrapped up in the competition thing, like validating my riding or, am I a good rider? Am I gonna be able to do it with, move my business forward, things like that. Um, I just really love the whole thing about it. And I'm really lucky that way because I did a lot of competing where it didn't always work out as I wanted it to. But I think that if we were encouraged as young people to think about competition in a different way, and it's not survival of the fittest, and it's not about comparisons to other people, and it isn't that, what about the idea that it's lonely at the top, and that or the people that are kind of stepping on the other people on their way up. I think that we as a society, competition doesn't have to be like that. And so I always used it as a test of where I am in my training. What do I need to work more on? What is really working? And then if I had something where I wanted to go to a final or something like that, that progression of getting that connection with my horse, taking it out in public, putting a little more juice month by month until it was, a finals worthy test. And but that all really intrigued me. So, yeah, does it feel good when you go to the show and you're not at the top of the leaderboard? It doesn't feel good, but I think that when we're having fun, when we're building that partnership, when we're having that, it's a lifestyle, right? It's not a lifeline, it's a lifestyle. And that's where you really need to embrace it and enjoy it. And some days the test scores are going to be less, and some days they're going to be more. But, if it's my lifestyle, then, I don't want to live in a bad place because I had a bad test. I just want to go out, get up tomorrow morning and figure out how to make it better. And that was fun for me. And I love it that you are really thinking about that way. It's so important to get a little bit on a different side of competition. Maybe someday you do decide to step back in that arena, but I hope when you do that, Meg, that you're doing it because it's going to be fun. There's always a little bit of stress. There's always a little bit of excitement about it, but I hope that you do it because you're like, I really want to have fun with this. And it's awesome that you're recognizing that, have that awareness, and it's definitely going to go in the right direction there. And then are there any viewpoints or beliefs that you would like to start cultivating in your writing? And I want to try and develop the that's not my story when I start to get nervous. And that's again, it's another thing that takes a little bit of practice, but it's gonna be so good for you when you can make that a habit. And just like you want to have a couple of those videos in your head about what's gone right for you, you want to have a couple videos in your head to replace that. So it's like when I tell you about that's not my story, it there was a specific time where it really worked for me because I was riding a horse that had very little show experience, although he was doing the Prix St. George. He had really only done 4 or 5 shows in his life. We were at Saugerties and it was completely crazy, windy weather. And all the horses were ballistic. And the whole siding they had divided up the ring, and the whole siding had all fall down from the wind, like while we were warming up in there. And in my warm up, I could not even pick up the canter. I couldn't canter until I went to the on deck ring because he was just so bugged out about what everything was going on. He never put one foot wrong. He was completely amazing with everything. But I had to keep, when I'm visualizing going down the center line and him just being complete, like I had an experience at a horse show where I couldn't get the horse, back focused, and it didn't work. So I had to really say, like, that is not going to happen again. That is not my story. This is the story. And I had to play the tape in my head of the test that I had visualized day after day for the last 2 weeks. I had to play that story in my head, even though a completely different thing was actually going on. And it worked out perfectly. And he did wonderfully. And we were able to canter in the on deck ring for 5 minutes, and then we went down the central line and did the Prix St. George, and he did awesome. But this is that when we talk about that, that's not my story. For me, that's the poster child for that's not my story. And if you can find in your visualization practice new stories so that when your mind wanders down to your dad's horse taking off with you, you can replace it with a different visualization that will really help you. So I love it that you did the homework. I really want to encourage people to start doing the homework again because I think it brings a little more life to our talks on Wednesday nights. So thank you, Meg. I so appreciate you. And now you guys decide. I was going to talk a little bit about the tests, but if you want to watch videos of Aachen, I can pull that up and we. Good. Okay. Can you hear? All right. So this guy used to board at the same barn where I boarded when I was living in Holland. He's a super nice guy. So that's the Grand Prix, but the 4-star. So not the biggest Grand Prix that the CHIO, the 5-star. This is just the 4-star. And it just looks like he's not a, a little bit too um tight and kind of sucking his tongue up. So you can see that he's not like pulling the contact forward, but women's trying to get him a little bit. You can see that he's trying to get him out, but the horse is just this atmosphere at this place is just crazy. Um, that's getting, you can see him pulling him now forward better in a medium. And and he should just leave him a little bit up there. Passage is very, very good. Very good. Very good. You see, he starts to drop the bit a little bit again. So it's a little bit hard for Wim to just keep him out. You could see he stepped back with the left hind just a couple times, lost a little bit the rhythm in the second passage, but really not some very good things here. It's some of the horses haven't competed in an atmosphere like this, and he is 11 years old. So he definitely is looking around a little bit at the crowd. And there it's raining like crazy. The commentator is saying we can't really see it. I think they might be in the cover. And they're talking about the Prix St. George that's going on outside raining. And the passage is very strong. Hind legs are good, but you see how he starts to chew a little bit at the bit. He doesn't take, and then he steps back with the left hind there. He just doesn't take the contact quite forward enough that Wim can bring him into his hind legs, so that you're just in a little bit of a tricky situation there. Passage after was much better this time. He's still around, you can see that 70 percent, and he got nice points for that. Whoops. I don't know what he's looking at. Yeah, the commentator's saying it too. He just caught something in his eye. I don't know if you saw that. All of a sudden he looked up in the sky. So the change is a little tense. He lost one there. So the change is a little short, a little tense, and then you could see the hind leg just jumping a little side to side. And here the canter, the quality of the canter is not as good as the quality of the trot, but maybe here in the medium, he can get him kind of pulling on him a little bit in a good way. And if he can just keep him gently in the hand without him looking up at whatever he found, yeah, he's in a better shape now, but still the quality, you can see it's not that true three beats. He just losing himself a little bit, hectic in the steps. So this is 36663. Yeah. The commentator also saying that he's losing the rhythm in the canter. All right. So the ones are better than the twos. He's still tense in the back, but he jumped through in each one. The roundness was really good. Oh no, it's definitely raining there. Oh, you can see it on his coat too. It's funny that we can't really see the rain in the. This was very good. Very good. So the changes, he got a 6. A little bit too big, but again, very good for the just the last step. So so that He's just a little bit down now with the points. He was up around 7 for everything, and the canter work just came back down. The quality itself of the canter just was not the same as the quality in the trot. The just got too tense. He looked up a couple times, he dropped his back, and then Wim is kind of holding on for his life there. Very nice. Hind legs are just a hair to the right, but the you can see the evenness in the height of the steps from that angle. The Piaf became very good, but again, after 4 steps, he steps back. You see where the left hind goes back instead of forward. The right hind stays, but it's quite nice. So you guys go back up in 7s. He's going to end up with a 68, 69 maybe. Got his points back. So just a little bit too much tension and riding in the pouring rain. Very good. I'm just going to pause it for a second. Does anybody have any questions or something that you want to? And Szechuan is, you can see a little bit the lanky, long hind legs, not super strong. This is very typical of this bloodline. Yeah, it says 10, but it says born 2017. Anyway, he's got long legs. But you see that she have a little bit better flexion and moving to the rein in the half passes. He started a little bit out of the corner, a little bit weak, but he's got these long hind legs, which don't always typical for a stallion, but really long hind legs. This is very pretty there. So those half passes really good. Both, I think they were both 7.5. Rein back is a, a, a little bit stressy in the. Yeah, and then he just lost the rhythm a smidge in the medium trot. So the rein back is so important. It shows a lot about the horse and the connection from the back to the front. So when you get that, and here the Piaf is very, very good, but a little early from the view that we have. Passage is good. You could see that the horse was getting a little bit the same like Wim's horse, but she totally fixed it. The walk is 4 beat, but barely. But and then can be a little bit longer, reaching for the bit in the neck. And now you can just see what it takes to get those long legs all organized back underneath herself. So he doesn't get collected and he doesn't stay completely clear in the rhythm in the walk. So she got 5.3 in both, maybe slightly generous, but this horse has incredibly long legs. Very light in the transition to the Piaf. Very good there. That's very good. And there he's drops again. They drops the bit a little bit. You can see as she goes out. So that's what we were seeing with Wim. She is very, very, very good rider to solve those problems and maintain the connection of the hind legs to the bridle. But you can see the tension in this horse as well with the atmosphere and the she's riding it quite at maximum for his experience. And now he gets a little wobbly in the changes. He's so good at that. She, he's like a little wiggle worm. Yeah. So I don't know. This can't be more than a 7, I don't think, for that. Nope, 7.2. Okay. The commentator agreed with me. There we go. Good. So you can see her just losing his balance a little bit in the medium, and she has to use herself a little bit too. She wants to go for it in that extension, but he's he's a little bit not attached hind legs to front legs here, and she doesn't give him a break. You know it. You see how she doesn't go straight? She really goes to do the zigzag exactly so. Sideways, change. With a little bit greener horse like that, you might go forward, give the horse a little bit easy time. She'll still get the same points. So she goes for maximum. The one times much better than the twos, and took up almost the whole diagonal. So much better. Yeah. Here she loses a little bit the rhythm, one step in the again, you can see the difference in size in the pirouettes from what she did to Wim. Wim was a bit bigger, but she did lose one step. Here again, very small. This time she kept the rhythm much better and coming out. So that one should get better points. The first one was 6.7. This one should be better, over 7, I think, personally. And then you got your trotting. She never misses a beat. Very good. This extended trot much better than the last one. The last one she had that. Yeah, the pirouette right was 7.4. Very good. Extension was much better this time. She had no missteps. Now she's got him nicely and up in the contact. So we see I just think he gets a little weak, maybe a little tense in the piaffe that he tries to drop the contact. She's so good at this to keep there we go. There you see she really has him in the back, in the front. As she starts to go out again, he gets a little weak, but the hind leg kept a really good rhythm. Very good. 7.8. Much better. And very straight. Look how high he gets off the ground. So good. Very good. She squeezes every single point she can out of these guys. It's just amazing. That's really gonna be a good horse, I think. I I like it. I need to one little bit. This mare is so beautiful, but was trained in such a mixed up way. Whoop. She's looking at the, oh shit, she's got the tongue out. So she went around the corner, looked a little bit at the flowers, and then she completely put her tongue over the bit. So hopefully she puts it back down because That feels so bad for the horses when they suck their tongues up like that, and then the bits are directly on the bars of their mouth. It's very hard. So I think on the short side, she got it sorted out. She's still open too much in the mouth, but I think she got a hold of the snaffle in the right way again. Well, again, she stuck her tongue out again around the corner. So what happens is not all the judges can see it. And now the passage started a little bit incorrect, but then it became nice when she made the corner. Then she stops for the piaffe, and then she gets him go. That he gets her going again. Passage is quite nice. So the piaffe they still gave it a 6.5, and then probably in the transitions, they still give it a 6.8, which is funny because she completely stopped. But trying to be nice to the Americans. The walk, the beats are pretty good. The neck still need to be longer. And the four stays in four beats, but it doesn't completely get in collection. Most riders are still a little tending toward medium in that. Transition pretty good. Passage looks really good. She looks a little bit behind and a little short in the neck, but in general, the mouth has gotten quieter. The transition much, much better here. The piaffe for me, it's a little bit too much on the front feet, but for her, it's going amazing. Transition was very good, good communication. These are quite nice, actually. Very much better. Very good. Now do you see that? So of the three, those are the best twos that we've actually seen. Nice and straight, relaxed, and jumping through. Very good. And this she could substantially um lengthen her neck better there, uh but quite nice in the medium and relaxed. The one, two, three, four, five, six. So that was a five. That looked like a six. That was a six. Good. Good. All right, not too bad. Still a little bit short in the neck, but connecting. She's connecting from the back to the front. So that's good. Yeah, she got 5.7 on the zigzag because she didn't go far enough to the right and he missed one count. 110Bs are pretty good. For me, they're not really safe. They're not really and here again, you see this big pirouette in the beginning, and then the four beating in the second part where he tries to make it smaller. This often happens. You really need, like Isabel, she kind of put the horse on the spot and then she makes it bigger. These guys go big, and then when they try to make it small partway through, then the horses lose a little bit the rhythm. So it's not abnormal and really good actually for her. These are much better. Medium trow is very good. Still for me a little short in the neck, but in general she's taking the contact very nicely. Nice and straight. Her still getting a little short, but the mouth is closed. We don't see the tongue. See how she lifts the, hold on if I can, let me see if I can just go. I don't know if I can show this to you, but let's give it a try. Oh, no. How did I get so? All right, well, we'll do. So trot transitions very good. Medium or extended trots very good. So I'll see if I can stop it so I can show you. She stays a little bit up with her butt, and she has way too much weight on the front legs in the piaffe, but it's way better than it used to be. So I'm not complaining. I just want that you can see how her hock is like kind of out at the back, and the angle of the legs is pretty good. Uh, and here now you can see kind of that how the hock kind of goes out in the back. And if we stop it on somebody, and then as she goes out, you see now she's pushing the front up and the butt is going down. But just as she comes into the piaffe, it's just a little bit harder for her. The stifles are her gaskins are so long. And so they trained her the piaffe just a little bit pushing out the back. She's a way, 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 way better. And really, really good job. Really good job. But you still see that she has a little bit of a tendency, which if we stopped one of the other ones at that same spot, it might be a little bit different. Okay, so then whoops. That's really nice. Wow, beautiful. You just get such a different picture of the hind legs with this horse. I know you can see the difference. And here you see like Isabel, how the horse is like pulling her across the diagonal. You don't see her pushing. You see her like just sitting there saying not so much. That is fabulous. I love it. Very good. Very good. They only I don't know what they see. Ah, very good with the halt. That's the best rein back that we've seen so far. I think that yeah, 7.3, very good. This is just gorgeous. Little bit opening his mouth there, but taking the snaffle so nicely, and you could see the hind leg really stepping underneath the center of gravity. Here he gets a little tight in his back. Very good. Mouth is a little bit busy. Very good. Very good. She rode that very nicely. He got a little bit tense, but he kept stepping. So yeah, they still gave her a 7.1. Very good. Postage was very good. This happens. This guy that used to ride this horse is very, very, very good rider, but strong, you know? And so then when you get somebody like this and they get to those places, they get a little bit like, "Ooh, yeah, what's gonna happen?" The walk was super. Here, just a little tension. Again, he's got super long legs to put into collection, but she goes to, this is the first time we saw collected walk and 4 beats. Very, very good. So a little wild transition there, but 7.6 on the extended walk, the best we've seen so far. 7.1 on the collected walk, very good. First time that we actually saw one. Do you see again, he gets a little backwards. You see how she lightens herself and she just says, another step, another step, another step, another step. But this is where he's used to being a little bit gripped and squeezed and pushed, and she's trying to just help him along. They're gonna have to make a partnership. I mean, really, she's been riding it since November, he said. So there's gonna be these places where he's used to a different way because Daniel that used to ride him is quite a bit stronger. Very good. Very good. Very good. Those were super. She's not really trusting him in the extension. Looks like he's taking over a little bit. She got a 7.9 for those twos. Fabulous. 7.5 for the extension. I think that might be a little generous. This is looking fabulous. 4, 5, 6. Very good. Very good. That's the best zigzag we've seen that stayed aligned, equal side side, all the counting very good. Super. Very nice. She's such a good rider. And things like that, those flying changes, they're so particular between horse and rider. So for her to take that horse for such a time and have such rapport, with it in those changes, the one time piece also is just so particular. This shows you that's a disaster. Uh, Whoops. And again, I keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Just stay relaxed. So they give him a 6.7 in the pirouette. That's so this is where his long legs doesn't don't know to make the small steps for the pirouette like her way. So and then she got 2 on, unfortunately, on that change, which is that change is the same amount of points as many of the other things that change in the middle. And so it's kind of a given, but she ended up getting a 2 on it because he got medaled up. 7.8 on that extended trot was beautiful again. She so high off the ground, this passage, so good. There we go. Look at her hands, just saying, it's okay. Another step, another step, another step. Very good. This was super. And going out, that's really what you want to see. So good. So somehow, she really put some things. Here he goes a little in the cha-cha side to side. But she had a couple difficult times in there, but you can see that that's going to be so good. And her cool is what's going to make it good because she's not overreacting when he is making these mistakes. And the next time she comes in and she, rides the next piaffe just um, like it works, which is so hard to do in that moment. But Really, really good. All right. Does anybody have any questions about that?